Hello, everybody. Apparently, he demanded an introduction, so I'm introducing the Continuous Key Signing Party as hosted by Noodles.
Thank you. This is probably the most boring talk you will see at DebConf, but it's kind of useful, so bear with me. Continuous key signing. What are we doing here? We're building our web of trust. This is worth doing even if you're here and you're already well connected. If you are someone who has turned up to lots of DebConfs or been to lots of Debian events and got lots of signatures, still worth doing. I personally have changed my key recently, so I'm not well connected to anyone at the minute, so despite having been to many of these, I will be engaging in key signing. We're obviously in a different part of the world, so it's an opportunity to connect India and Asia to the rest of the world in a better way. We are probably one of the few projects in the world that uses PGP to actively connect our developers together, right? We are a massively distributed organization who don't see each other often enough, and therefore what we have is the PGP web of trust, so that when someone new to the project comes along, we have a way of sending them their login details to log into Debian machines, of authenticating their package uploads and having some confidence that who uploads the package is who we think they are. So yes, there are lots of complaints about PGP in the world, but I have not seen anything that does the web of trust in the same way, and that's why we continue to use it. During the week, some confusion about what you need. There is a big long list of fingerprints and names and everything that you have all calculated the SHA-256 sum of. You don't need to bring that with you this week. The important thing is that you have that file and you have verified the hash on it, so that you know that we are all dealing with the same file, right? Once we know we're all dealing with the same file, then we can trust the data in it to be what everyone's checked. What you need is a sheet that looks, well, bring the file. Well, we have some of these single sheets. This will let you check off that you have spoken to someone, you have checked their ID, and you have checked their fingerprint. I have a bunch of them at the front. They have said they will print more for us if we want them, so if you don't have any way of noting them down, come talk to me afterwards and get a sheet. So you need one of those with you so you can note down that you talked to someone and check the things, and you need some ID with you so that when you speak to people they can check your ID. That's all you need. Probably a pen actually as well would be useful. What are you actually going to do? So during the week you will find people on the list. You should have a fingerprint and a number at the bottom as well on badges, so it should be sort of easy to see people who have signed up to this thing. You're going to talk to them and you're going to say, have you checked your fingerprint on the list and is it correct? They are going to say yes. You're going to say, hey, were you at the continuous key signing introduction? Did you check the SHA-256 sum matches what you think it is? And they're going to say yes. And you're going to check their ID to make sure you're comfortable signing their identity. What level of confidence you want in their ID, how much you trust governments over DebConf stuff is entirely up to you. The important thing here is, and I'll get a little bit more, is you're confirming identity of people, right? You want to make sure that you sign keys of people you believe really own those keys. That's the important thing. So have a chat with them, right? Have a chat with someone, talk to someone new, make sure they're who you think they are, make sure your key's in the key server. I've listed the ubuntu.com one here. There were a bunch of other ones suggested in the email. All of the keys should be on the page linked as well. I tried to download all of them and put a file there. So if you can't find them, there is a single file you can download. Then when you get home, you do the signing, right? The signing thing doesn't have to happen at DebConf. It can happen whenever. You use the list, you use the fingerprints on the list to verify the fingerprints, you do your normal signing procedure. This is purely a way of making sure that you have a set of fingerprints you can trust. Things to note about this. If you are not comfortable signing a key, don't sign it, right? Err on the side of caution. If you're not sure that person owns that key, don't sign it. Don't be offended if someone doesn't feel comfortable about signing your key. It is not a value judgment on you as a person. It is purely an indication of whether or not they are sure about your identity. So don't feel offended if someone won't sign your key. There are people with stricter policies. There are people who only sign a very small number of keys. That's okay. all you're doing is saying, I am signing this key to say, I think this person is who they think they are, right? It's the web of trust in terms of identity. It's not a value judgment on technical ability. It's not a value judgment on anything other than this key belongs to the individual I met. That's it. Before we get into it, so what I'm going to do next is we're going to read the SHA-SUM, and what I'm going to get is people to volunteer to read a block of 4 each so we can verify we've all got the same thing, and Andy is going to run around with the microphone. Before we get into that, does anyone want to ask any questions? Does everyone understand what we're going to do over the next week, right? So the whole point is this is continuous. You can do it over the course of the week. Go and bug people. No one has any questions and only one person understands.
Why don't we use GNU GPG instead of PGP? Why are you so bent on using the BSD PGP?
So I am using PGP as an indication of the technology. If I'd really wanted, I would have stated Open PGP throughout this talk. GNU PG is the most common implementation. Others do exist. Does that answer your question? So yeah, GNU PG is the tool we mostly use. There's Sequoia, which is now available in Bookworm. There is openpgp.js, which I think is what Proton currently use. So like Proton Mail have their own PGP implementation. It's all currently being updated in the RFCs, and I'll talk a bit more about that later today at the Hello from Keyring main talk. Yeah, can anyone who's got the hash in front of them and is prepared to read out 4 characters from it stand up and do things? I will kick us off to make Natty especially happy given the number in the first block. 2833.
3E3ED4 6400
9FA2
2A8A
6ACC E97D CDA9
947A
67AC 6781
Tell me it's a B.
Yes, exactly.
Can you read it again just to confirm?
Yeah, B781. Thank you. BBBC.
Stand up.
B73D
5829 8D 23 F3B5
Okay, so we've now established that we're all working with the same list. The fingerprints in it are representative of the people who are in it. If you need a form, come up and talk to me. If we need more, we can talk to front desk and they'll hopefully print some more out. If you don't need a form, then I have nothing more to say to you and you're free to go on your way.
Can I get some? Thanks. Uh, can people sign my key? No, just kidding. If people are new to this, how can they find more info about key signing? What should they do? Where can they find that info?
Yeah, okay, so probably I should have gone into more. The tool, generally, there's a package signing dash party in the Debian archive, which has a tool called CAF, which is continuous something fire and forget. I forget exactly what it stands for. OCA, fire and forget. The most basic way you can sign keys is you go and fire up GPG and you sign the key in it and you save it and then you upload it to a key server and that's it done. CA fire and forget, what it does is it does a signature on the key and then instead of uploading it anywhere, it will send it to the person who owns the key, which will confirm that, and it's encrypted, right? So it confirms that they actually control the email address. It confirms that they're actually capable of decrypting the key. So rather than you uploading a key from someone to someone's email address that's no longer active or uploading it to someone who doesn't actually control the private key, it does all that. So that's CAF within the signing party package within Debian. That would be my recommend. Unless you have a strong preference for doing something else, in which case you've got an opinion, that would be the thing I would go and look at, right, for doing your key signing. And it will, you give it a list of key IDs, it goes and downloads them, it says, hey, is this fingerprint okay, do you want to sign this and all of that, and walks you through it and sort of guides you through the GPG process. GPG is a great tool in some ways in that we've been using it for years and it sort of supports a lot of crypto stuff, but it is far from the most friendly user interface I've ever seen, right? Crypto gets a bad name because people who can write crypto can't write user interfaces in any way whatsoever. If anyone wants a free software project that would actually like change the world in some way, it's like actually making crypto both still secure and incredibly usable, because you can look at all the great projects that do really complicated crypto and they've all got major problems. Like OpenSSL has not got a great user interface either for doing random bits and pieces. I have to Google every single time I need to do an X509 operation. I can never remember what the options are to even show a certificate. It took me, in terms of CAF, it took me 3 goes the last time I did key signing, because I had to set up my mail agent. I had to like make sure it was plugging in the right key, and I've been doing this for a while, so I'm not a UX person. I can't claim I can fix it, but if someone wants a pet project, then going and making the crypto world easier for people to use would be an admirable task. Stand up.
Hello, I made a mistake that I want to share so that people don't repeat it. So many times you will see people made RSA 3072 keys, but in Debian it requires you to make 4096, right? So make sure when you sign keys, 4096 bits. So make sure if you are like signing keys, you also see if they have 4096, maybe they don't know that 4096 is the required thing. And
so yes and no. The default, I think, that GNU PG will spit out is a 2048-bit key. In Debian, strictly speaking, what we say is it should be 4096. If there's a good reason you have a 2048-bit key, that's okay. And one of those good reasons is I have a lot of signatures on it. The ones that we will absolutely not accept are 1024-bit keys. We've kicked all of those out. But 2048, if it's well signed, will get accepted into the keyring. If you don't have any signatures on your key, then generally we would recommend a 4096-bit key to start with. So yeah, it is something to watch out for, that you look at the key size on it.
Yeah, so I made a mistake. The fingerprint that I pasted was for the email which I intended to use with Debian. but it was not the email which I used for registering for the DebConf. Is there anything I can do about it now? So,
Sorry, let me try and understand the question. Is the fingerprint correct or not?
the fingerprint is right, but the email mentioned in the UID isn't.
So the list doesn't put all of the UIDs on it. The list is purely about sort of some names and some fingerprint mapping. So whenever people come to sign the keys, you will potentially see other UIDs on the keys that you're signing. So that's up to the person signing your key that they've confirmed your ID enough that, yeah, don't put any stock in the email address that's associated with it. The script is fairly simple about pulling out an identity for the key and putting it on it rather than all identities or the primary identity on the key. So you didn't make a mistake there. The script is just a quick hack together set of Ruby to do some stuff. Oh, one more at the front before I run away. I am here all week, by the way, so feel free to come to ask me questions.
Yeah, it's actually not a question, but but a remark about the previous question.
More of a comment than a question? Had to be one.
A comment. You can add new identities to an existing key, and you can remove identities from an existing key. So the fingerprint is just fine. You can fix it after the fact.
Yeah. All done.